Today we're going to look at a very interesting subject. Did humans live to be 900 years old? Now, many of us were told in Sunday school that people lived to be over 900 years old in the past. This idea was taken from the book of Genesis in the Bible, where it actually mentions a number of different people with ages over 900 years. But come on, no one really believes that, do they? Well, I just kind of figured that there was some explanation for it, like the year was a lot shorter or something like that. But as I got older, I kind of forgot about this claim in the Bible, or at least didn't pay much attention to it. But later on, I began to discover something incredibly fascinating. The Bible states that the earth was quite different before the worldwide flood. Now, if you do not believe in the Bible or a worldwide flood, you will still find the following information quite fascinating. It began over a decade ago when I was handed some videos featuring an engineer named Carl Baugh, who ended up using his research for NASA, and he was also the author of Against All Odds. He's also done a lot of speaking and has his own television program. But he did some amazing work on what the environment was like before the flood. According to Genesis, it was completely different than it is today. We will look at the scientific validity of his ideas later on. When we look at the conditions before the worldwide flood, we find one thing that makes the world different than it is today. There was a firmament or a canopy around the earth, but the problem was the type of the canopy. The Hebrew word rakia actually has the implication of a pounded or a stretched out metal. Now, what kind of metal could surround the earth without completely shutting out all light and completely eliminating all life from earth? Dr. Baugh was stymied. He put the word out to his scientific acquaintances to help him come up with the answer. Well, it was months before he got a reasonable answer. But the answer did come, and it was quite surprising. The only answer seemed to be a gas, not a metal. Hydrogen. But isn't it interesting that hydrogen is not just a gas, but is also listed with the metals in the periodic table? That's the chart with the listing of all the chemicals on it. But it is a gas and not a metal. So how can hydrogen even be considered to be a metal? Well, very surprisingly, hydrogen does take on metallic properties, including even responding to a magnet if it is supercooled and supercompressed. Doing this literally turns this gas into a metal. But it gets even more interesting. If the earth was indeed surrounded by this metal, everything would have been completely different, even drastically different than it is today. Now, here are the differences between life on earth today compared to life before the flood. By the way, for those that believe in the Bible, it is interesting to note that the length of life immediately dropped right after the flood. First of all, the magnetic field around the earth was many times stronger than it is today. Now, this was not due to the special canopy around the earth. The canopy would have caused there to be a magenta hue around the earth. This color is similar to the color that we might see at sunset. Now, this color has been known to be very calming, hence the phrase, "you are looking through rose-colored glasses." It is also known to be healing in some cases, such as with dyslexia and other maladies. The atmospheric pressure would have been much greater than it is today. The oxygen level would have been considerably greater than it presently is. The carbon dioxide level would have been considerably greater than it is today as well. The ultraviolet rays would have been filtered out by the canopy. The entire Earth would have had a semi-tropical climate with no part of it getting extremely hot or extremely cold. Nighttime would be somewhat cooler during the day, but the canopy would have kept the Earth fairly warm even at night. Now, the scientific evidence has shown that all of these points, except the magenta color, so far that has not been verified or been able to be proven, was present in the past. This has been done by diagnosing the contents of air pockets that have been discovered in amber. Also, the evidence found in the layers of the Earth have also given proof to some of this as well. The results of the differences have an enormous effect on life forms that live in those conditions. In fact, just one or two of these can be a real life changer. We will look at some of these in the upcoming video. For more information, go to evosecrets.com.